Your op-ed for the New York Times this week, sorry, it's called a guest essay now at the New York Times.
Right.
You said something that really stuck with me. You said the Trump base is addicted to the big lie. And you said addictions are hard to break. That's, it's kind of uncomfortable, right? To think about tens of millions of people being addicted to something. Why did you say it, and how do you back it up?
Yeah, the reason that I said it is, of course, because I think it is true, and let me explain what I meant by it. There are physiological addictions: cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, and what that means is the body craves them. That's the reason that they're so difficult to break. But there are also psychological and emotional addictions, and I think what has happened here, I think the polling and the evidence, and certainly my own conversations with people who are Trump supporters, underscore this, which is that they decide there was a psychological need or longing or craving to believe that Donald Trump won. That is, it was too difficult for them to accept that a person that they had such a high regard for, and people and a movement and a party that they considered dangerous and malicious, the Democratic Party and progressivism, won. They simply didn't want to accept that because that created all sorts of uncomfortable feelings. And it was just much better and easier, not better, but easier for them to say, look, the election was actually stolen, that this was ours. And this plays in, by the way, something on the American right that conservatism once stood against, which was a kind of grievance and victimization mentality. That is so rampant on the American right right now. So they got addicted to that. And then they have these news sources feeding that addiction, giving them the information they wanted, playing into confirmation bias and motivated reasoning. And that explains in part on how we are where we are.
Yeah, this radicalization, this sectarianism is the story that affects every other story that we cover. You said, just now, right? Trump is treating his voters like victims. And what I think you and I both fear is what that sets up down the road.
That's right. My real fear is that if this continues, there's going to be a normalization of political violence, because these are links in a chain, right? When Donald Trump is sending out, as he did yesterday, a statement saying that the election was the crime of the century, what that is signaling to is people, and we know this from the protesters on January 6th, which is this is saying this is the most fundamental attack possible in a democratic society, and you are victims of it. And in their own mind, what that then means is we have the green light to use any means possible, up to and including violence if necessary and force, to undo this grave injustice. And unless Republicans stand up and resist that, we're going to end up in a worse place than we are, and they will be largely responsible for it.
Peter Wehner,